Yes, everybody, welcome back to the United View YouTube channel, United View Studios, here live today in the flesh. We're going to be talking about, a lot of stuff. This is the last time we're going to sit down before the Europa League final, and there's a lot to talk about. Today I'm joined once again by Yusuf, great to have you back, and Firmz and Joe Blackman from the Rector's channel. We are back, and we're going to be talking about football, talking about Man United, and talking about, I know there's the Europa League final coming up, right? Everyone's thinking about that, but I actually want to start with something different. I want to talk about the transfer windows. I want to talk about the squad. I want to talk about Omar Berrada. So Omar Berrada has this rule that he had at Man City, and I think he's always had, where his idea is that if you bring a player in, they have 2 seasons to perform, or they're gone. They've got 2 seasons to prove themselves to the manager, or to the squad, or to the board, to the fans, or whatever. And if they don't prove themselves within 2 years, they're gone. Now, I'm working on the assumption that when Berrada joined, that 2-year window for everyone in the squad started last season. Bar a couple that, they're definitely on their way out. Let's say like Rashford on his way out, Anthony on his way out, blah, blah, blah. I think for a lot of the players who could still stay at the club this summer, they only have 1 season left. And so I want to start by talking about, who those players are. Who do you think will definitely fail and go? Who do you think has a chance to succeed? Who do you think are going to redeem themselves? Because although we've got this summer is obviously huge for Amman, right? We all know this. The clubs are going to need to sign 5 or 6 big starting 11 players, realistically, if we're going to potentially be playing Champions League football next season, competing better in the Premier League, all of that. We need these big players. But also, a lot of the squad will still be here. And I think a lot of the squad, I think at least a number of fans think that hopefully players are going to get better. So there are obviously players who are going to be staying in the next few years, right? You've got like Ahmad, you've got like Lenny Yoro, etc. But there are others who, might not, but it's in like summer 2026, might be going. And so I just want to talk a bit about who do you think those players are that are at the moment in danger of failing Berrada's like 2-year test?
Manuel, adios amigo.
Really?
I'd sell him this summer.
Ugarte?
I'd sell him this summer.
Do you know who I'm scared of getting sold? Is one of my favourite players actually, who's just unfortunately been injured 2 seasons in a row.
Sure.
No.
The Sandro Martinez.
You say my favourite is Shaw? Bro, just because we're twinning, don't make me fight you, bro. Bro, I could have sworn you told me it was Shaw yesterday. Get out. Anyway, as I was saying,
it's the Sandro Martinez.
No, see, with Martinez, I'm scared. The Butcher, that's one of my favourite players. That's one of my favourite guys, I believe in him. I think he's one of our strongest defenders. He's one of our most attacking defenders, versatile defenders. And because of his situation with the injuries, he might not get enough time to prove. But I think he has enough time. He has had enough time to prove what he is.
I think he's proven what he is, but it's just a thing of like, you've got to get reliability there.
Availability.
But the thing is, I don't think he's injury prone, Let me just make this clear.
He's been unfortunate, I can't lie.
He's been unfortunate. But I think one more injury, then I will have to call him injury prone.
Do you know what, though, at the same time, I think his play style does invite it a little bit. So someone's analysed it quite well, like the metatarsal injury he picked up in his first season. Actually, it's because the way he manipulates the ball, he puts a lot of pressure on the outside of his left foot. Right. So, like when he tries to turn, he puts a lot of pressure on that bit, and that's an injury that you never entirely heal from. It's always a bit weaker, but there's some aspects of his game where he does put pressure on himself. But the West Ham one, Crystal Palace. Yeah, Crystal Palace one. That was just like
pure bad luck. That was pure bad luck.
That
was horrible.
I'm impressed that Berrada can say he can get rid of guys in 2 years. Anyway, having that alone is like.
Well, I think that's more like that's how he views, like
keeping the value.
Keeping the value. It's like kind of if a player comes in and then for 2 years they're in and out the squad, they're inconsistent, blah blah blah. Then he just goes right, cut our losses. So I think what United don't do and haven't done in so many years is cut your losses. They keep holding on to things with the promise or the hope that things get better. Like with a load of players, that's why players like Shaw, for example, continue to stay at the club. Like I'm not like in the way of United. I'll look at this again. If Berrada had Luke Shaw would have left United probably like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, let me just be honest with you. There's a reason why we're annoyed with Shaw, There's a reason why we're annoyed with the likes of Luke Shaw. Because every time he plays, let's face it, he offers us something that we do not have.
Yeah.
Shaw.
We like, yes, let's face it, we're upset with Luke Shaw because we
yeah,
can't play
Yeah.
Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
That's why we're upset with Luke Shaw. Because do you know what? I hate him, and I'm always cussing him. I want him to be the first one out the door. But every time I see him play, I'm like, just
You know what it is?
just look at him.
That
Oh, look at
just
him.
boosts.
Even when Rashford was here, he was like, oh, Rashford even makes Rashford better.
It's whenever Luke Shaw plays, he reels me back in with
yeah.
like
I'm
these
saying.
like inch perfect low crosses or like the early balls.
He's
and
good.
stuff.
That's why we hate that he's not available.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
and that's
I agree.
the thing. So
It's interesting though, because like a lot of the players we brought in under Ineos's reign was before obviously Amram, bar Dorgu, and it's like there's that whole new formation, a new setup there. There's young players that needs to adapt to the league as well, and the speed and the intensity of it as well. So 2 years is really a short time period.
Alright, so I've got two things. First question, just on that is about Shaw. How do you feel about Mason Mount?
that's what. Hey, do you know what? After Martinez, I was gonna say Mason Mount is next on the list, but I'm not too upset about it.
It's sad though we're talking about these players. 'Cause are we going down the whole Croc injury prone type thing?
Well,
as opposed
I
to
think
He's
Mount is the perfect example of a player who should be almost given the 2 years as opposed to like being only 2 years. So Mount's obviously been so injury prone this season and the season before, but the fact that kind of it feels like his first season is going to be discounted in terms of the 2 year thing because it was before Berrada came in. And I think Mount, there's same with Shaw. I guess there's something there.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those players I think is a little more hard to like put your finger on what he does so well. But whatever it is, he just does so well, and he really, really does it well. And Amram clearly loves him.
He's one of those
Yeah.
players that you can see why the managers love them.
Yeah. That's a really good way to put it.
You know why the manager likes them. We might not like them.
But I think
They try hard and they
Yeah.
Do you know what? Mount
Mount-
technically is fantastic.
He's a great footballer.
Really good.
Or as
Really,
Amram
like,
says, he's a proper footballer.
he's a well-rounder.
intelligent
He's going to be
footballer.
another Luke Shaw for us if we
That's-
keep him.
that's
That's,
my-
the problem.
This is
I
where
like-
I think if we still have injury problems with Mount next season, we should probably let go.
And I
but-
like the culture shift. I like the fact that we can say that get rid of them in 2 years. Because my thing is we've wasted so many years with guys like Phil Jones, with guys like Luke Shaw, with guys that it's just been in the team, and we knew we should have made changes with them early enough. But the counter side to that is, look, I remember Benzema coming out doing interviews about, was it interviews or remarks about Vinicius, man, saying, this guy's not a footballer, or something along those lines.
No,
like
wasn't it?
along those
It was like in a
lines.
change room
He
camera. He
said-
said he's playing against us.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember stuff like that, and we have a Carlos Vinicius now that's arguably one of the best players on the planet, and it just makes you feel like
Yeah, but
again,
that's
there's
a footballer.
balance.
That's a footballer's opinion, isn't it? Yeah, that's someone that's playing on the same team as him. You don't take those people's opinion too hard.
But when it
because
bends in on
there-
when he's talking,
there's gonna be friction in teams, isn't it? Yeah, you can't take another man's word when he's playing on the same team as him, unless no, you just can't.
The
Do you know what I mean?
the
Unless you've heard
Benzema,
the
I
other
think,
side.
was also would have been like a heat of the moment thing. I think
It's
when Madrid like just lost or
probably,
something.
but what that can do to someone's confidence. For me, I'm just thinking, is the blanket approach of 2 years the right thing to do
I
in every
think-
situation?
I think you got
because
to-
that is a
I
risky
th-
approach.
It's a
I
good
think-
general rule, but
yeah,
I
that's
think you also
what it
have
is,
to
yeah.
tailor it a little bit. So like Dylan's saying, someone like Mason Mount should be given the 2 years, even though he's now been at the club 2 years, he should be given the 2 years from the period beginning. In my opinion, someone like Rasmus Højlund deserves a bit more time because he's he's struggled, he's had his issues, but he's a talented young player. Now, if he doesn't improve at all next season, I'm a big fan, even I'll say, look, we should cut our losses
I think
now.
Mount
But
and
I think he
Højlund
will
are two
improve.
Højlund are two players that are like the perfect examples of where this rule works really well.
Yeah.
I think Shaw maybe less so because he's been at the club for like 10 years and like his problems aren't going to change.
How about Zexi?
Xerxes, I
Same.
think, and
Same.
Xerxes is
He
another
fits-
good
I
example.
think he fixed the rule.
Yeah.
Because we
I
can
think
all
it's-
see there's something in it.
Yeah.
There's something, but if he doesn't reach it within the next year, we can go there.
What does that mean though, in terms of goals and assists?
You,
Are we
you know what
talking-
it is with Xerxes? I think
Depending on
Xerxes
the final way he plays,
almost
so,
there's
yeah.
there's like a +1 extension on this rule. So let's say Xerxes plays well next season, but he's not absolutely on fire. I'd still be open to keeping him.
I think that should be the general rule, blanketing the whole team, to be fair. If we see something in you, then we might give you an extension.
Yeah.
You know, like how a lot of players have a 1 year extension option. Yeah. All you guys are on this 2 year deal, but we might, if we see something in you, give you a 1 year
You can-
extension. And if not, that third year.
To be fair, that's how it should be at a club like United. You know, if you aren't performing, you're go,
Yeah.
like leave. I think that's what we're saying before. Like, well, that's what we haven't done. We've been giving players so much leeway, so much opportunity, so many chances, but partly because we keep changing manager. So
Yes,
every time a player
yes.
looks like they're about to go out the door, we then flip the manager mid-season, and then suddenly everyone and the club
Can't
goes,
leave that.
give him. Like, I'm not saying it's just that, but like to a certain extent, it's like, oh, maybe we don't sell him because he could do well under.
And I think
I was
it's
going to
got
say the
to do
other
with
point is the
ownership as well.
wages.
Yeah.
The other point is
And the
we
wages, sure.
That's the
give
hot
players way too high wages, so it's actually then becomes hard to shift them on.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're hanging on to assets, hoping that either they're going to come good. I don't understand why we've been hanging on to so many players for so long, by the way. Yeah. The likes of Rashford when he hit his heights. I understand you want to keep players, right, to get goals. But when do you make that? This is why I am happy about this 2-year thing, yeah, because we as a fan base, we get so attached to these players because they're academy graduates, or he was tearing up over somewhere else, and we want him to do well here. We're always hoping FC that someone's going to turn out good, and it's like,
I mean, I
when
think
do we let
optimism
go?
is a good thing.
I want it to
but
be taken
yeah.
out of our hands now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what? And all of us, when the whole fan base knows that we've got a 2-year, but you've got a 2-year time period for you to get it right. I think we all get it in our heads that now, you know what? You better do or die. And I
2
think
years is also enough time.
it's enough time.
It's enough time
yeah.
to make a judgment.
Do or die.
I
And
feel like,
yeah,
in general, yeah. Like, for example, Franco Mastantuono, the Argentinian kid who we're reportedly looking at signing now, if we signed him, I wouldn't say, show us something in 2 years or you're gone, because realistically, he's 18, he's going to come in. First year, you probably loan him. That's the right thing to do. Then he comes back the next year, you kind of integrating him slowly. So that's the situation where I say, look, adapt it slightly. But as a blanket thing, yeah, because not every signing we make is going to be an 18-year-old coming in as a kind of development player. So I feel like with development players, you need to adjust it ever so slightly. But in terms of players coming in straight,
I agree. Yeah.
you know, you got to make an impact or gone. And I remember on Nad's tweet, he actually said, arguably, if 1 year goes badly, you could be sold after 1 year. So again, Manuel, adios.
No,
I'm looking at it like this.
Why do you hate Manuel Ugarte?
He just
Do you know what it is? He tries hard, and I respect that, but
he just doesn't think he's
not
good.
What do you think of this man himself, though?
Berrada.
What do you think of this? Because
I really like
on
him.
the Reckless channel, we was having your clapping. Do you know what? Yeah, people are calling for his head. On the
No,
Reckless
I really
channel.
like him.
People
I
are calling
really
for
like
his head
him.
because it's his fault. Yeah, it's his fault that Amram. They're talking about the Ashworth thing. They're talking about the fact that Amram came here at a certain time. He's talking about the fact that he wasn't backed in the interim, in the January transfer window. All of these things kind of do fall under him. Yeah.
I feel like we took the
extent, yeah,
opportunity
but,
to bring
you
in
know.
Amram. Look, I feel like if we waited till the summer,
Then
he
what?
could be at
he
Liverpool right now.
no, he wouldn't have
No
come.
way. Why would he
wasn't
go to
going
Liverpool?
Oh,
Liverpool
he
win the
would've gone
league.
somewhere
Yeah, foolishness.
He just would have gone somewhere
foolishness.
else.
He would have.
I mean, maybe, but I think
because he was one of the most sought after.
Didn't we finish
hipster
13th last
managers.
season, right? We finished 13th last season. And even if we
Did
finish
we?
13th again.
Did we finish
yeah.
8th? Or something?
we
Was
finished
it 8th?
eighth last
Was it
season.
8th last season?
Is it 8th? Not
Hold on.
13th. This is the first time we finished
Oh,
bottom
no,
half.
sorry.
United have
the
broken
manager
them,
was
guys.
fired at 13th.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
The manager
10
was
half,
fired
yeah.
at 13th, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that he would have been so far down the league as this manager is. Yeah, that's all I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
And he.
What, Ten Hag?
Yeah,
Yeah, Ten Hag. Yeah, so even if he
But
was.
we don't know.
Listen.
No, but he
proof to the
can say
pudding.
that because that's his.
Proof
that's
to the pudding, he
his
didn't
opinion.
finish so far down the league the last 2 times, right? We're 16th, bro.
Actually, can I just point something out? Quick ad break, okay? Arsenal this season will finish on less points than Ten Hag's 22-23 Man United.
I wish I had that sound.
That's crazy.
But I think Arsenal
This
are
season
rubbish.
has been poor. Across the Premier League this season, as I keep saying, I've said this multiple times, right?
The only team not to be in the final.
No. This season, right? Every single team has been worse. I think every single big team's been worse, and all the lesser, like lower position teams have been better. So the league is full of teams that I would say in a normal season finish 6th. Genuinely, I think that. Like if I like all these teams like Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Brighton, Crystal Palace are performing well, right? They're performing very well. They're getting points, everything. In a normal season where they all weren't performing well, these teams would be pushing for like for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And then all the teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City are performing worse and would probably be at most in a top 4 battle. But all of those teams are performing like that at the same time. So the whole league is literally just a load of teams that I think in a different season would all just be battling for like 4th to 8th.
you
But
know
there's
what,
like
Conor?
10 teams.
I understand.
Conor,
Then there's
I-
us are in the
It's a
big-
very low level.
I really hope Newcastle beat Arsenal, because if Newcastle beat Arsenal, then the likelihood is Arsenal will actually finish 3rd.
Ooh.
That'd be quite funny.
So like, imagine they like finished third when they were the kind of second team in the title race.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you right
They don't
now,
need that.
yeah,
They don't
Arsenal
need that
fans
smart.
can't go anywhere. They literally cannot move, yeah. Do you know what's even worse though? Let me tell you this, because do you know there's Arsenal fans on KG's channel saying that they want Spurs to win.
That's
Arsenal
bonkers.
fans saying they want Spurs to win because
crazy.
they can't deal with us.
It's because they
know,
know
I
what could
understand
happen
it, you
if
know.
we win.
I understand it.
But
No,
but if Spurs
I
win
understand
a
it.
European trophy before you do, isn't that worse?
I know.
Oh no,
But I respect
probably.
it.
Yeah, but then
Why?
Shamelessness.
Because, bro, it was just like how I felt with the Arsenal fans, bro. Do you know how many man them are on this phone?
No,
you know how many man them are on this phone?
man. So what, Liverpool then?
Bro.
So Liverpool then. So Liverpool win. Liverpool
It was
going.
stress for me.
If it's Liverpool or Arsenal. Actually, even
Do you know
Liverpool.
what? I asked the question.
Liverpool or Man City. When it was Liverpool or Man City going for the league, who was you more upset about?
Drop a bomb. Just explode the whole thing.
No, don't lie. You was more upset if
Allegedly.
Liverpool
Cancel
won.
the league.
You was
Allegedly.
more upset
But
about
just-
Liverpool. Don't
Bro,
lie.
my thing is, I've been doing this for years, bro. Looking right, left, right. I see City, I see Liverpool, I see Arsenal, and they're all Arsenal stressing me out. Liverpool stressing me out.
But Arsenal ain't done that.
City stressing me out. And now, the only people, City don't bother me, even though they stress me out.
But
they
why
don't
do
bother
Arsenal
me.
bother you? Arsenal literally don't do anything.
Because their
but
fans
they
are
don't.
really
They-
annoying.
Listen,
Their fans
we need
are
to
so
start
They
talking-
blocked
jarring.
out the whole of Box Park across the whole of the UK.
but they still ain't done. Oops, they still ain't done nothing.
How can you book up the whole of the Box Park in the whole UK just to do watch-alongs?
Arsenal don't.
Like,
but
come
think,
on, bro.
But think about this, yeah. Just think about this
Come
logically. Yeah.
on,
We
man.
actually need to start thinking about Arsenal. Are they as bad as Tottenham, or are they getting as? Look, they're not even the biggest club in London no more. Chelsea have done more
Depends
than
how you
them.
find biggest.
Chelsea are better than them.
Arsenal are much more international than Chelsea.
No, why? Listen, Arsenal don't win trophies. How relevant do you have to be without winning trophies? I know Tottenham. How relevant do you feel Tottenham are? They don't win nothing.
I'm rattled right now, behind the cameras, but it's okay. It's okay.
You don't know, Joe.
Don't win
You know what it
nothing.
is? I think the only reason why Arsenal would actually want Spurs to win this game is because long term, Spurs winning this trophy is fantastic for them, but I think it does niche for them in long term, right? They're not going to level up as a club after winning the Europa League. It does so much for United.
Man.
If we win, right, we get back in the Champions League, we've got that extra 85 million revenue, and we've got a ridiculous injection into our project. We have a better chance of then coming back to catch Arsenal and overtaking them in the next couple of years, potentially. Whereas Spurs are going to stay, at the end of the day, Spurs, even if they win the trophy.
But no, they have.
It's
the
like a
chance to
nice day
escape
out.
that-
It's a great day out for them.
No, the fact, they could actually spin it now, and go, it's not being Spursy anymore, is it? It's being Arsey. Innit? It's being Arsey.
No, maybe,
because we won something.
North
When have
London's
you
white.
won nothing? You win nothing. Arsenal, you win nothing. And then you're going to end up this season winning nothing.
And they see Kane. They see Kane around the corner as
You
well.
want something. If Tottenham win that, Arsenal are more cooked than we're cooked. We can sit back and watch X just cook all of Arsenal, bro. It's over. It's
Yeah, I can't
over.
at the same
He
time.
would just.
If we're the team that gives Spurs a trophy.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want
that's
that, bro.
the
I
stress.
don't,
We are
I
getting
don't
deep
need
fried.
that.
That's the only
But
problem.
I don't think we are gonna. I don't think it will be too much on us.
No, it will get deep.
The Arsenal fans will be upset or whatever, but it'll be less about.
Nice. If we lose, it's disgraceful.
We are going to get deep.
I think we're gonna
It's
get
just-
the cooked more. Yes, because we lost to Spurs, but more. Look, we've lost to them 3 times this
People
season.
kind of expect us
We've
to lose.
lost
That's
them.
the funny
We're
thing.
not favourites, bro.
That's
Look,
the funny
okay,
thing.
okay. We'll get onto the Europa League final in a bit, but I just want, I want to.
You know what I mean? City's
No, I feel like the
will
police
get
there.
there.
Why don't you got your hands up?
We will get, I want to say, so Kenny Fan TV is saying it's great to see Mount Mazwari and Basuma on the podcast.
Kenny, look what we have here. You know what? You've underbelly, yeah, Kenny. And he's our local, he's our local Asian guy, yeah. We have a little meme of him. I'm not even going to do it before I get cancelled. Reckless channel. Anyway.
But people are agreeing and saying with us, so some are saying that Højlund's had his 2 seasons, which and should go. I don't necessarily agree with that because I think in his first season he was actually pretty all right. He's top scorer, 16 goals. This season has been just horrendous, but I think it's been...
Is that enough?
That's all a bit for him and a bit on us. As
But
well.
Yeah,
I
what's the
think he
levels
should get
though?
back
What's the
out of the
levels
season.
though? But hold on, here's the thing. What's the levels? Because if you're going to say that Højlund deserves another season, what's the levels? You know what? You're getting me hot, man. Taking my shit.
What, as in what do
What's
we
the
need?
levels?
What do we need to see from him
what
next
did you
season?
think? What did you find acceptable first season? So 16 goals, yeah.
There's
first
no.
season.
I
Such a
wouldn't
contrast,
put.
innit?
I
First and
wouldn't
second.
put a number of goals. For example, let's say I'm not going to say like, oh, if he doesn't reach X amount of goals, he's gone. It's more the overall how he plays football.
I think
if that makes sense.
I will say
if he can show,
overall-
sorry, I'll later speak in a sec. But like, if he can show us that he is getting better, i.e., with the ball at his feet, striking, his confidence is coming back, and all of that, then I'm like, cool. Let's keep going. So, for example, if he shows us next season he's getting better, let's say, okay, if you want to give numbers, let's say he then gets 10, 12 goals in the league, and then another couple in the Champions League and the Cups here and there, and then also just in general, starts becoming a better striker, I'm like, cool, let's see if you can do that again the season after. And if you keep improving, then I'm like, sweet, you're now 24, 25, and you keep
No, I
improving.
think it's too much time actually.
But if
That's
he
the
doesn't,
risk,
if
isn't
he
it?
doesn't keep improving, if he doesn't improve next season, then I'm like, well,
Yeah, no,
you're not
I'll
going to
say,
improve
yeah.
the season after, and you're going to have
Yeah,
to go.
but that's
If-
too much time now. Because see, I think we'll mix us trick. Because if he gets even shitter next season, his price going to drop. If someone wants to buy him right now, we could probably
price-
sell
what's
him
his
for
price
about
now?
40,
No, but do you know what though? I will say,
We put-
since the international break, I think he's improved.
He got,
personally.
he actually in the last
I
month,
think-
6 weeks, he's got better.
Like, you look at how he's holding the ball up now. What I've noticed is before where he was losing it all, right now what happens is he pins defenders on his back better. He gets his arms around them much better. They can't get around him. So West Ham, there was that chance he missed off the free kick that he got criticised for. I'll be honest, I thought it was a very good save from Areola, but I think we didn't realise he actually won it a minute before because we played the ball long. He was there in the channel, he held the ball. Defender couldn't get around him, so they had to go through the back of him and foul him, and we won the free kick in the position because of that. And like in general, he's holding the ball up better, pinning defenders better, and he's making it stick more. He's linking up play better. It's not at the level we need it to be yet, but it's improvement.
Look, my worry is we're looking at getting Delap competing with Rasmus Højlund. Look, I can't be asked to be having these conversations,
do
bro.
this.
Do you know what I mean? I can't
That's
be
the
asked to be
problem.
having these conversations
Those are two
about
strikers.
you're nurturing that. Oh yeah, but it's getting better. Look, we need that. We
the
spent
reality is we need to
70 odd
improve.
million on this guy.
That's the club's fault.
Do you-
That's
I
not
know,
his fault.
but I'm looking at next season thinking I'm not even sure who's going to be leading our line like that, where we can be looking at them and dependent on them.
I mean, that's going to be Cunha.
But I feel like they're going to.
What league- like, as a number- as a
Oh,
number-
no. Okay, so with the
Delap and
lap
Højlund,
thing,
it's gonna be a
the one
power
yeah,
struggle.
they're going to be the one thing I would say. I agree. Going for Delap as someone, I didn't realize that that they're born 4 days apart. According to Delap, they're the same age, like
Imagine
almost
that.
both 4th and 8th of
Their
February,
birthdays and that.
2003.
Save the cost.
See, I know what they're going to do.
But it's
They're trying to
it's definitely a
create-
risk. I agree. I agree it's a risk, and the safer option is to spend 50 million plus another 80 million contract worth on someone like Gyökeres or Højlund. Osimhen or something. But I don't know this, but I think what United's plan is to rather than buy a single striker who's then going to grab you 30, I think they're looking to sign a multiple players who will
Share the
add an
goals.
extra 10 or add an extra 15 for the season. So let's say we were to get Cunha, and then he can grab goals as well, who can create an assist. I know you don't like the Cunha signing, but we'll,
62
and then also Delap, and then let's say because we're also looking at the right hand side as well. There's been like United report according to the Times, they're wanting Burma as well. I think what United are doing is they're finding multiple new goal scorers who won't necessarily get you 30, but it'll mean that we have more goal scorers in general. I think that's what they're doing.
I like
Whether
that
that's
idea
right
of
or
that,
wrong,
but-
I think that's the route that they're trying to go down.
I
think
like
it's-
that idea.
that's a good idea.
If you're number 10, I like that idea. If it's you're buying a forward and then your number 10s are supporting that, maybe your midfielders or your fullbacks. I don't like the idea of you getting a striker that's a 10, 12 goal a season guy and then another striker that's a 10, 12 goal season a guy.
Do you know what my question is in all this as well? Where is Xerxes' future? Striker or number 10?
Number 10.
In my opinion,
100%
I think he's a
number
number 10.
100%,
But
yeah.
I think if we had, because I think I want to see Bruno drop him deeper next year. I've done a quick 180 on this. I remember back in like December, I was on here and I was slating Bruno Fernandes for playing deeper and being crap there. But because it was after we lost 2-0 to Arsenal and he kept getting caught in possession and it was infuriating me. But since then, I think he's stepped up a level also since
I think
New
he's
Year
done
completely.
very well, but I think also...
I think he should be down there longer term, and I think the 10s should be Xerxes, Cunha, Ahmad, and a new signing. and then also Garnacho
Mount,
potentially in there as
yeah.
well, and
Hold
Mount,
on,
and then he's
hold
suddenly
on.
got
You
6
say Ahmad
players for
as
2
a 10.
positions.
So
I want Ahmad
right
as a
wing
10,
back.
yeah.
A lot of people are saying he should be right wing back though.
He can do both.
Is he more effective?
I think he
Is
can do
counting
both,
him-
but he's
yeah.
best as a 10
How much? Okay, so we're having him as a one of the 10s, yeah. So
on the right, yeah. As one of the options. If we're in the Champions League next season, let's say we're playing 60 games, everyone's
Don't
getting
get me
games.
wrong, and Amram looks like the kind of guy that will switch it up depending on the game. You know, if he wants more attacking options coming down from the wing, or if they want it more cutting in, whatever. But I feel that we should still buy another 10, yeah, on top of Cunha.
No, I agree.
Yeah, on top of Cunha, we should get another 10.
We
And the
need
thing is,
another
if we're-
person for the right.
And if we're getting the lap, we need another striker, a real striker. I don't see. Listen, they're trying to create the Dwight York, Andy Cole situation where we had 2 good strikers. They ain't 2 good strikers. We need 2 good strikers. Go get 2 good strikers then, because those guys were putting in more than 15. Yeah, it wasn't 15 that you was expecting from them. You were expecting 20, 25 from them. Yeah, and then if they produced less, then so be it.
It's not the fact that Delape a good baller. Like, he's a baller. Like, I like what he can do.
Unproven though.
He's like, he's done his thing. What is it, 12, 13 goals in the league?
12
right
goals.
about now?
12 goals
He's
this
done
season.
well.
Like, he carries the ball well. He's got nice, like, he's physical. He's got the height and everything like that. He's your old traditional type of striker.
But you know what I'll say on Delap as well? He took a big jump this season under McKenna with the coaching. Because before that, one of my mates who's very into the EFL told me he was even more raw than Højlund is, and that was in the Championship. He was looking more raw than Højlund is. He's taken a big jump under McKenna.
I like
Look,
that.
and it's just big. I just think it's just big pressure to put that weight on this guy.
And this is what
It's
I'm
risky.
saying. Like,
It
he's
is-
going
it is
from
risky.
that
Same
to
thing
Man
as
United.
Højlund.
It's the
It's
same thing what we're
literally
doing.
the same thing as Højlund.
All these
Because
young
you can't-
bucks.
If they maybe what they're trying to do is alleviate the pressure on Højlund by bringing in someone else that can carry the weight on his shoulder. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Instead of there's one black person on the sofa, there's 2.
Yeah.
You get me?
I look at it like this, yeah. I look at it like this, yeah. When we've needed people the most, who are the people that we're looking at that's stepping up for
That's
us?
the problem.
Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes. If you're talking about experience, these are the
Mazraoui
guys.
as well.
Mazraoui, we're looking at these guys.
Even Maguire.
Maguire.
Even Maguire.
Euro's exceptionally outstanding in that sense, but you're looking at these guys. We ain't got enough of these 25, 26, 27-year-olds established guys these man can look to.
That's what I've been saying.
But
Need
we're
too
linked.
much.
But we are
Now you're
linked to
bringing in
them.
Delap. He's
We-
looking at
yeah, no,
Rasmus.
but we're linked to Delap, yes. But we are also being linked to like Cunha is 25, turning 26.
Yeah, but we're
soon,
talking
right?
about
We're
finance,
talking
like
about
the people
Edison as well.
experience, though. When we say experience as well, I'm talking
Cunha's
about
got
people
two and a half seasons in the Prem.
been through winning things.
I do
as
like Cunha.
well.
I do like Cunha because
look how Casemiro's been dragging us through this.
Yeah.
Casemiro has dragged us through this Europa. Yeah, there's been a point where we even looked at Bruno and wasn't bringing nothing to the team, and then Casemiro stepped up and was like, he dragged that team. He felt like he literally pulled everybody with his own 2 hands.
And I just want players, that regardless of the manager change or the tactical change, they're gonna be them throughout.
That's where I don't think
been
Cunha's the guy.
Bruno's been that. We look
What
at
did you say?
That's where the player who, regardless of manager change or system, whatever, are going to be the guy. I don't think Cunha's that guy.
No, but let's deep it with Cunha though. So Cunha, obviously, West Ham's, Wolves are sitting, chilling with us, right? Near the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
Cunha's been churning out.
He's been
Serious
good, but
numbers,
like,
you know?
You know what the team is, like the way
14th
his role
last
in the
season.
team is perfect for him. I think Cunha's a player, he wants that perfect role. And in this Amorim system, he's got that role. But any slight change, I think suddenly he becomes redundant.
And
Is
maybe
it kind of like Grealish at Villa versus Grealish at City?
Yeah,
That's
that
the
might-
kind of
that's a
thing.
good point. But I felt like in terms of looking at Cunha as an individual guy, right, taking away the role, right, just looking at him, he's someone that's still churning out the numbers in a team that's performing bad. You look at, on the contrary, you look at Kudus. Kudus has got, 7 goal contributions, right, in all competitions, right? West Ham is performing bad. That's indicative of how Kudus is performing. When West Ham was doing well prior to the season before, Kudus is churning up the best numbers. Everyone's talking about Kudus. Cunha's a guy that Wolves finished 14th in the league last season.
Yeah.
They're dwindling around that position
He keeps
now.
his level
and he
despite
keeps his
how others
level.
play.
He keeps his level
It's
consistent.
what Bruno does.
And that's what we need in terms of leadership. Like,
Well,
I
maybe.
think those type of players, they will rise. They will find a way to impact and have an impact and have a say on the Manchester United team, because those are those guys that will be able to just be like, you know what? Like, I'm going to adapt and I'm going to find a way to contribute
I
to leadership.
think Fernandes is much more adaptable.
He is.
I don't think Cunha is like. I think from what we've seen of him through his career, that like free roaming second striker role is for him where he can run the attack. But my one thing is, if we change that role, then I think he becomes redundant. And my second thing is, we're buying him, we're paying big money for kind of prime age player, 25, bringing him in. You expect him to be the main guy spearheading your attack. I look at the other top attackers at the top in Reek said. You look at Liverpool, they got Mohamed Salah. Arsenal got Bukayo Saka. Man City have got Erling Haaland and Omar Marmoush. Chelsea have got Cole Palmer. Newcastle have got Alexander Isak. Is Cunha at that level? In my opinion, he's not.
Yeah, but none of them. A lot of the people you just mentioned weren't
Cunha,
at that level when they were.
I would also say
bought.
we are also not at any of the level of.
No,
those
but
players.
what I'm saying is, we're going to pay that big money. We need players to be at that level.
No, I think Man
But
United
those
in a
level
precarious
players
position.
are even bigger money.
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
play at that level, you're forking out
What Man
120
United,
million.
what we're doing is buying the youth, but also buying the best of what it seems like from all
We
of
can
the
actually
links that
get.
what we can get, especially in the Premier League. So where you're seeing guys like Semenyo, where you're seeing guys like Cunha, when you're seeing guys like Mbeumo,
Delap.
when you're seeing guys like Delap, these are all opportunistic buys of players that are not at the best teams
But then I
or
think-
the
doing
biggest
well.
teams.
But then
that
I
are
think
doing
guys
well.
like, Mbeumo and Semenyo, like, there's a bit more future-proofing in that they'll be good now, yes, but if there's any changes, I trust them more to stay good than I do Cunha to stay good.
I understand what you mean.
I think that's
you mean
fair.
manager change.
Manager, but
Because
even
that manager
there's
clearly
manager change, but
evolves.
even if Amorim say he evolves, because look, managers evolve, good managers evolve, they like change. So even Amorim from where he started his career has evolved. If he evolves and suddenly that role that Cunha would be playing and thriving in changes, then what happens?
But couldn't
Sells
Cunha
him,
play a
innit?
number 9 though? Because Cunha,
Nah.
you don't think he can play a
So
number 9?
you can sell him.
the essence is that Yusuf feels that Cunha is very well suited to the one role that he'll have at United, but if that role goes, he becomes a liability.
And I've seen
because he can't
this
play
happen
elsewhere,
too
is
much
Yusuf's
over the
argument.
years, like where it happens with players where okay they come in, they do well, and then there's a change and suddenly like it goes downhill. I'd rather we buy players who I trust to be good regardless of the circumstances.
When I watch Cunha, yeah, I see him all over I think I mentioned this before, I see him all over the pitch. So for me, he's someone that, he reminds me of Bruno in a way, where he's just got this free role, he wants to play everywhere, he's on the left 1 minute, he's on the right,
He ain't
he's
gonna
up
have
top,
that freedom
he's
in this
dropping
team,
deep.
though.
See, then
That's
my
what I was
question is,
worrying about,
okay,
because you got Bruno doing that, you got
That's it, you
Cunha
can't
doing
both
that.
do it.
You got
the structure's
will
not
they
structuring.
step on each other's toes? And also, I think doing that in a lower level team, it's much easier to do. A lot of players, they do this in a lower level team, and everyone says, right, no, get them to a better team. But then when they get to a better team, suddenly they find, actually, no, we can't do this as much to the same level because the top level teams, they don't give as much room for players to have that freedom unless you're like the level of the attackers that I mentioned. Even Cole Palmer, for example, he doesn't have that level of freedom. Okay, to be fair, Maresca gives him no freedom at Chelsea, but under Pochettino, where he was thriving, he didn't have that level of freedom at Chelsea. But he, you can see how good he is. And in my opinion, a better signing than Cunha would be Rayan Cherki. For a third of the price, I think he's a better fit. But look, I watched the guy at Old Trafford. I left absolutely amazed.
I mean, I'm not against
I left
Cherki.
absolutely amazed by Rayan Cherki.
I think Cunha is too expensive. I think he is too expensive for what he is. Yes, yeah. And I understand that what you're saying, that he is not as versatile.
It's not that he's not a good player. I just
There
don't.
you go. Is this too expensive though for what he is?
Yeah. It's too expensive.
And he's,
You
like
said
you
there's
said, he can
add-ons
only
as
do
well,
one
isn't
role.
it? It's potential add-ons. I think I saw an article where it's not even just 60 odd mil.
So because we want to pay the release clause in instalments, Wolves are being like, right, we're going to add a bit extra, that like with Xerxes, because we're not paying the 62.5 million up front. I think the add-ons will be stuff that, if they're achieved, it's not an issue anyway.
Yeah.
It'd be like if we finish top 4 2 years in a row or something, and in that way we've earned a load of money, and so Wolves get it's not a massive problem. But
Yeah.
I do get it. I think 62.5 million is very much on the steep side for because it's a risk. It is a risk buying someone who is like Wolves for the most part are Cunha. More than any other player, Wolves are Cunha.
But that's why.
And that is
expensive.
true.
Yeah.
That's why it's expensive.
Because that's how much he's worth to them. But the thing is with Cunha is my opinion of Cunha comes down to belief that I think he is more adaptable than we're giving him credit for.
I think so. I reckon he
Look,
can do
if
a
I'm
advanced
wrong,
number 8
I'm
role.
wrong.
If you're wrong,
I'll be
you
happy
still
to-
win because he'll be an
he'll get a good
amazing player. So
I'll
it
be
doesn't-
happy if I'm wrong, but I just don't see it right now.
Yeah.
I can see, and you can shoot me down if I'm wrong, I can see Cunha still being able to do, to a degree, an advanced number 8 role. And I can see him doing a 10 role, and I can see him playing a false 9 type role as well.
I think
I just think he's just a good footballer. So because what we don't have at the moment is we just don't. So when everyone's talking about these Amrims, Amrims needs specific players or blah, blah, blah. He doesn't. He just needs. Like, I know you agree with this. He just needs good players. Yeah. He just needs players who are actually very good with the ball on their left foot, on their right foot, playing football. Because we don't have that. Yeah. That's what Amrim doesn't have, and that's why he's
to increase the base.
Messing up. Yeah.
We need to increase the base level.
I think Cunha adds to that.
And that's the
I
thing.
think he adds. I think he adds to it more than you think he adds to it. But that's fine.
I think Cunha adds to it a lot. It's just I think if we get to a certain level, then he caps us. Yeah, and you know.
That's what you think. As in.
What's wrong? Listen, at least right now, because where we are, we can't literally turn our nose up at any player that's half decent.
I understand that.
I think we can though.
I don't think Man United has the luxury.
I don't think we do
of having these discussions to that level. I don't think because we're not even. I think. Any addition like Cunha to Man United, regardless of whether things might change, is just going to boost our level. And when you see guys like Zerki, I know he's cheap, but because Manchester United has gone down the route of bringing in young guys for such an important position like this, like we brought in Dorgu for an important position as right wing back or left wing back, and it's not quite picking up the pace where we want it to. Look, these number 10 positions are important, regardless of the price. We're bringing him in from another league, right? Bringing him into the Premier League, such a young guy as well. I'm going to have the same concerns with him leading or spearheading our attacking line as well. I'm going to have the same concerns because one, he's young. Two, he's coming in from a foreign league, which has not got the same speed and physicality and intensity as the Premier League.
Yeah, and you can see Xerxes struggled at the start, but I think he's actually done really well since.
I really like Xerxes.
He's traumatized.
I really like him.
His price makes him a minimal risk, for sure. It makes him a minimal risk.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to, like, say we sell Xerxes in 3 years' time, we're not going to make too much of a loss on him. Like, he's not going to be going for 15 million or something. So we'll still be able to sell him for 30, 30.
But at the same time, I also don't like the mindset of you buy a player, oh, what if we sell him in a few years? That I don't like to think about that too much.
Why was you blown away with Zerki? Was any of you guys blown away when? Because part of me is thinking like when he played against Leon, and for me, I'm looking at all of Manchester United's frailties and our inefficiencies to defend, as opposed, and I don't know if that's clouded my judgment.
Oh, you're talking about Cherki?
On Cherki, sorry.
Oh, have you said Xerxes?
Yeah, you did. I was like, what the fuck do you mean?
I must have said Xerxes. Cherki.
Yeah.
I think like my judgment's clouded when I looked at him.
Me with Cherki
I'm like, Man United, you're defending whack.
I think Cherki was really, really good against that. Like, really, his 2 goals are fantastic. Like, 2 really well taken goals. His second goal was obviously much better. But the thing is with Cherki for me is that I knew him back when he was watching him when he was like 17, 18, because I used to watch a lot of Leon, and that's why I would be so sold on him, is because I watched him. Not so much in the last 2 seasons, but prior to that, and he was simply fantastic. And I know how talented he is, not from those games, but from before. And the fact that he's 20 to 25 million, I think that's a crazy good deal.
And like I think creatively, I will say I think he's one of the best creative players in the world.
Do you think we could win that?
I will go as far as to say.
Do you think we could win that race?
I think we could.
I
think we could because we just simply because I think the line that we're going to be giving people at the moment is. You come in and you become one of the men who bring this club back from the drag to the top. That's incredibly appealing.
Always the fucking. I'm sorry. Isn't that?
No.
Isn't that always the line that we say?
You're right.
That's literally always the line. Next season.
This goes back to a point I was going to make before about Berrada and stuff. Is I trust these guys a hell of a lot, like Berrada, Wilcox, Amorim, a hell of a lot more than I trust who used to be in their positions, Arnold, Edwards, Murto. I trust these guys. So even though these guys are peddling a similar line to what the other guys did, I trust these guys to actually get there more than I trust the other guys. So when they say it, in my opinion, either to players or to fans or anything, it becomes much more believable.
And I
want to read out a super chat from a while ago from Paul Scholes. I don't think this is the real Paul Scholes. Just saying, L'Reclasia, oi oi.
Hey.
Shout out, there's a lot of love for you, Joe, today. And a lot of people saying, don't go anywhere near, don't go close to Delap. Delap is just like Højlund.
They're different players.
Mateta and Jonathan David should be getting in. Don't buy Delap, save for Gyökeres. United
Jonathan
can't afford
David.
Gyökeres.
Mateta and Jonathan David.
I don't even want Jonathan David, bro.
Keep Jonathan
But this is a
David.
conversation there that I'm like, listen, everybody wants someone to take a step up. So I understand. You know, the funny thing is, I will understand why Indians would go for someone like Delap over someone like Mateta because of the age, the profile, and what they
Cost.
produce.
And the cost, he's 30
And the
mil.
cost.
That's a
There
bargain.
you go. And the cost, yeah. So with all those, with all that collaborated with the team, I'm thinking like, you know, you have to go for the younger, hopefully a person with a higher ceiling, because you don't know what his ceiling is yet. I feel like Mateta is probably on his ceiling right now.
Yeah, he's
His
not
ceiling is very
going
good,
to become better when he joins us.
Yeah, he's going to be this guy, which is
was
not
like
bad.
if he was
Obviously, he's
to
not a
join
bad
us.
striker either.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying no, he's
need
a,
that.
but
See, I almost prefer that right now, though. I'd rather a guy, he comes in and he's this guy straight away.
that's what
You know
Cunha
what you're
is.
gonna
He's
get.
that guy
That-
straight away.
that's
But that's
what
what
I think
Cunha
it
is.
That's what we
Cunha's
think
the same
Cunha is.
That's what I
thing.
don't-
He's that guy straight away.
yeah, but then with Cunha,
Yusuf
there's
doesn't
potential.
lose in this argument, by the way, because either he's wrong and Cunha's fantastic, or he's right,
I
and so
think Cunha
therefore
will
he's
be
right.
good, but it's just, I've said why I think it's different Cunha, because I think he's just a bit more niche. Someone like Mateta,
I think it's fair.
I trust him to just come in and
It's a
do
fair
well,
argument.
regardless. But I think Cunha, if there's changes, I would trust Mateta to adapt to the changes much more than Cunha.
It's because he plays one position. He's a striker.
Well,
And
well,
that doesn't really
different
change,
positions,
does
Do you know what I
Cunha,
mean?
like-
You go in the box, you score goals.
Yeah.
It's like Cunha will be adapting to whatever
No,
new
but then
position
someone
he'll
like
be put
someone like
into.
Mboma, if we sign Mboma, for example, we go from like say a 2-10s to like having natural wingers, or say we play a front two, Mboma will do well. Regardless.
understand
Yeah, I
that
think
one.
like he's much more versatile. Like let's say
You might as well bring Sancho back then.
But I don't know. I just
Oh,
feel like
Sean,
when-
no.
we won't.
He might as well- he can do that,
And
can't he?
you've just given me a fantastic segue into
on,
our
then.
next topic. Is I want to talk about Chelsea, the Chelsea game coming up. So obviously, after this pod, we've got the Chelsea game on the Friday, and then the Europa League final on the Wednesday. And so we'll touch on the Europa League final in a bit. But I first want to ask, what should Amarim be doing against Chelsea? Because there's obviously the argument, you know, wrap every single player we have who's going to play in the final in cotton wool.
None of these.
Don't bring them, don't start them, lock them in their houses,
Yeah.
in the gym, in the cold bath, whatever.
Do you care about the Chelsea match?
I don't. But
There you
the
go.
other option I'd say
All children.
is, should they be getting some minutes
I think-
to prepare themselves in the positions and the roles they're going to play against Spurs? Because we're
Minimal.
playing against another another Premier League team in the Europa League fight. It's a different game. And by the way, you know how this whole Spurs have beaten us 3 times this season? I think that means nish. I really think that means nothing.
Especially
Because it's
two of the
different
games you should've
competition.
won.
It adds
It's
to
a
the nerves,
final.
though. I know it's
Yeah,
different.
on a fan level, yeah, but like Dallo was asked this yesterday. He's asked directly, do the 3 results that Spurs beat you this season mean anything? And Dallo just went, no. And I think Mazraoui said the same thing. He just
have to
went,
do that,
no, it doesn't.
No, I understand why though, because look, we beat Man City last season in
After
FA
being
Cup
slapped
final.
by them
And let's
twice.
be real.
Yeah.
Thought we was gonna win that. Nobody. Listen, when
I
we
backed us,
started
can I
doing
just
what we
say.
was doing, I was.
But think
Bro,
about the
one of my
mentality. Think about
favourite
the
days
mentality.
ever, by the way.
When you're
One of
walking
my
out onto
favourite.
that pitch in a final, the mentality of Tottenham players, they're thinking, I've beaten you. Regardless of it being a final.
No,
Tottenham
but
Hotspur doing
also-
this. This is what Tottenham are doing, yeah? Sorry.
Because
Did I
they've
put-
not won anything. Because they've
Destroying
not won
their mics.
anything. And that's what they could. But you've got the whole, they won things in their second season. The
No,
manager
but
talking like that, you've got
also-
the-
Destiny.
We
You
won-
go,
we
you
won
go
last
to
3
Tottenham,
seasons.
But then
Tottenham,
you got Heritage versus. Yeah.
Tottenham, you go, they step on that final, they've not been there before. Man
what I was about
United
to
have been
say.
there before.
We're
You got
just like this, we're
Casemiro,
cool,
he's
we're
like, Casemiro's
I
just going to
can't
be
lie.
chilling.
I don't think we're cool.
In,
No, I don't
in the
think we're
Europa
cool.
League,
Because
we've
too much
been
depends
in
on-
this situation every single game. Every single game has been like this situation is today. Because we're playing away legs first, right? Which is, I'd say, overall better over 2 leg. I'd rather play an away leg first, but also it's the away leg is where you're more likely to slip up. So United are going into each Europa League game, away against Lyon, away against Bilbao, away against Sociedad, with the possibility of getting slapped 3-0 on the first leg and dying. So United are there going, we cannot lose this first leg. In the second legs, we've been behind, we've been just terrible during moments, we've had to score goals in last minutes and everything. So every single leg of this Europa League knockout game, United have been in the mode of, Jesus Christ, we need to win this game. And it's the same situation in this final.
I do.
But
I
ten
So
do-
United, I think
more.
United players are going into this game much more prepared, like mentally wise, knowing what the hell's going to happen compared to Spurs.
The last
What's
2
Spurs'
seasons.
run been, by the way?
Who cares?
It's not been ours.
The semi-final was Bilbao. The semi-final was Bilbao.
Bodo
Not Bilbao, so Bodo.
But I mean in the way of I think United players are going like this game, like the run has prepared them so well for this final, which is why I trust United play.
As always,
It's every final does.
We've got our incentives. Tottenham's got their incentives. For them, lifting this trophy is going to mean everything outside of the financial aspect of things.
They're going to bottle it.
Do you know what I mean? Like that whole tag of bottlers, that whole tag of winning something finally after God knows how long, that is what it means to them. For us, it's looking like a financial thing because we've won trophies last year.
No, but like,
it's a pride thing as well.
There's a pride
this is
thing,
everything for us. Like this is. Bro, not that it salvages our season, but you know what I mean.
We want it. I understand that what you think it might mean to the fans, yeah. But you see, when these players step on the pitch as well, you got to realise something, yeah. You see, like when even the likes of Dallo can say, "I won a trophy last season." He can say, "I won a trophy the season before." And look at the Spurs man. Like, when was the last time he was in a finals, man? They just look at him like, "Why are you walking past me here?" You men have won nothing, and you're not going to walk past a Manchester United player on that pitch. Yeah, the only person that hasn't won anything there is who? Anybody that came last season. Yeah.
I'm nervous though. How are you man so confident like this?
No, I'm not confident.
How are you not confident?
Huh? No. I mean in the way. I'm not sitting there being like, "This is an easy win. We've already won the game." Blah, blah, blah. Like, because I can see the storyline of us absolutely fucking this game royally because we've seen it before. Like, but
I'm sorry,
but you can't see that.
No, do you know why? Because look, it's what you've said. That we've been so shit in the league, so absolute pants in the league. That it's crazy how we will win at one match, yeah, against Bilbao and look sick, yeah, and then go back and then lose.
Concede 4 against Brentford.
Concede 4 against Brentford. It's crazy because it's like they just don't put in the effort, and this is why everybody
Amorim said this as well.
If you had just watched Europa League matches this season, how would you have felt about Manchester United?
A lot better.
That's what I'm saying to you. It's only because you've had to watch us in the Premier League. Now, just imagine all our league matches were Europa League matches.
But that's my worry because we're now facing the Premier League team.
We're slapping them up.
Yeah, but they're so injury prone.
I can't.
I don't even care about the injuries. They could have every single player. Tottenham are not winning. Tottenham are not winning.
Please don't clip this.
Tottenham are not winning. Yeah? All right then. I don't know what's wrong with all of you, man. Yeah? The white must be getting you the days, bro. The Tottenham are not winning.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't understand. Listen, Arsenal fans, you best hope Tottenham don't win, innit? Yeah, back Man United fans because you need us. You need us.
The hate along's gonna be crazy.
I'm gonna go downstairs and find Robbie. You need us.
The hate along's gonna be crazy. Oh my gosh!
You need us.
Arsenal
you need us.
Fans. You're gonna have every single fan just stress.
Amin or Rashid has asked, question for Joe: if we lose the final, are you Amorim out? Thank you for the super chat.
You know what? I'm surprised it took this long to get to this question because this is a big talking point.
Well,
you don't need to give a yes or no.
I'm going to give a yes or no because I don't care. Okay. Yeah, man, it's a no. I'm not Amorim out only because, and I've been very critical of this man. It's on the record now. I'm not going to be Amorim out until he has as much time. At least I'll give it to December with his players. He needs a summer transfer window. That's what I'm going to say.
See how he gets on next year.
Yeah, let's see how he gets on with at least 6 players. And they better give him at least 6 players, by the way. If he doesn't get at least 6 players, then I'm going to say he wasn't backed enough. Just saying.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how we are going to... Like, the way we've been playing so bad in the Premier League, how are we going to flip that into next season? Like, how are things going to just... Can players... Because, like, my big worry as well is a manager that needs specific tools and everything to be perfect. Nothing in the Premier League is always perfect. Like, it's never perfect. There's injuries galore. So for Amorim to get his complete squad, where we're talking first team and a bench, that is suited to him, that's going to take a few windows. It's going to take a lot more windows, and he ain't got that time. So
yeah, but you like some of these players.
I think some of that will be sorted just by him having a pre-season. Yeah, he will be able to get to. So okay, Sporting fans, I remember this. Sporting fans, when Amorim first came in, they all said. I think Amorim said this as well. He was like, Amorim creates his squad. Not necessarily saying that he's going to buy loads of players, but he creates his squad, a squad for him, and a squad that follow him, in pre-season? Because I think for Sporting, I think he came in mid-season and they were iffy until the end of the campaign. He then went in pre-season, in his first summer with Sporting, went away with the squad and came back. And I remember Sporting fans saying this, and I've been said a couple of times, like told a couple of times by people who support Sporting. The squad came back, and suddenly the squad, they said, was his. It was different. It was his squad. It was his team, and it was his players. It was no. It was, and he also, by the way. But I reckon that's going to be what happens this summer, and I hope so. There's about 10, 12, 15 players in this squad or around this squad, whoever, just get them gone, get them out. I do not care. I want to see him gone. But other players like Mazwari, Yoro, De Ligt, and then like Harry Maguire, Rasmus Højlund, Ahmad, all these players, I think, are going to hopefully step up a level, and those who are underperforming step up a level once they have pre-season with Amorim and get time to both understand him, his tactics, and also him as a man, him as a guy, him as a boss.
Because you have nothing else to believe in apart from that.
And why would I believe anything else?
You have nothing else to believe in
Can I
apart
quickly
from
make
that.
a
I don't want to believe
point
anything else.
on Rasmus Højlund? Actually, he's on the pre-season. He's actually not had a pre-season with us. Because
Yeah,
remember when he joined from
This whole
Atalanta,
season is a pre-season.
Remember when he joined from Atalanta, he had the injury. And he joined a little bit later in the middle, but he had that back injury, so he didn't make his debut until Arsenal at the start of September. Then this summer, he scored in that Arsenal game, and like he looked like really good, but then he got injured for a few months. So
that's actually a
he's
decent
not
point.
actually had a pre-season.
But
with Man
my
United
thing
so far.
is this season has been a pre-season.
Neither's Ahmad.
And when you've
but
had
like
a season
a
before,
season
as
is
well.
different.
And when you've had a
this
season
season has
before,
not
do
been a
you need so
pre-season.
much of a pre-season again?
Because pre-season is when you get 5 to 6 weeks with your players in the training ground, working stuff out. Remember, Amorim's
too much
first 6
pressure.
weeks, he had 4 training sessions
You've got
in 6 weeks.
You've got to remember that like between games, most of it is recovery. Even Pep Guardiola said they don't train during the season.
Like Amorim said during his press conference, he said, "I'm training the players during the games."
So many
Over
managers.
30 odd games or whatever he's had. Like there's a cumulative effect about how much time
you
that
have to remember the
It's
impact
different.
of
It
fatigue.
is so
down,
different.
Injuries.
I'm saying, you know what I'm gonna say back down? Do you know what? I had this real big argument on the Delegates channel, right, on KG's channel, and pre-season, it was defined that it is a really needed thing that you need in order to get your players to understand what your system is. Yeah, and I wasn't seeing it until someone explained it to me.
because
as
you
well,
look pre-season like.
Hold on. Let Joe cook. God.
But it's something I learnt the other day. Yeah. Well, basically, look, there's some football scholars on the channel, you know who you are, who came on and explained to me, like, listen, Joe, the whole thing about having a pre-season is that, yes, you can say that they're learning some of the ball right now, yeah, but to instill the manager's ethics and tactics and exactly what he wants to do, it takes time. Like he was saying, a lot of the time, recovery time during the season, a lot of the time is, so when you have that solid 4 to 6 weeks?
It's 4 to 6 weeks, yeah.
With them solidly just implementing that. When they come back to pre-season, when they come back in the season, that's when you can see that's what the manager's tactics should really look like.
But we can't go and say that the course of the season means nothing in terms of the time that you spent with the players.
It doesn't, but you know,
because
like,
that's got to add to it. If you're
time.
getting 4 to 6 weeks of intense, I understand the benefits of that, of intense sort of learning the strategy, learning the philosophy, learning the morals. But you can't now say, 30 odd games plus is something that can be totally ignored. Look, every moment I've got to spend with a player, I'm going to be trying to instill what I need from them.
How much dedicated time does he get? Because you remember most of it is recovery now.
Most of it is interviews.
Amorim himself even said, I think it was about a month or two ago, he said that he's still not even really learned a lot of the players. He doesn't know a lot of the players that well already.
That's
he's
crazy.
not had the time to actually, like, I've been very critical of Amorim, by the way, and back to the question about would he go, I don't really like to sack managers based off one game. So, like, my position is if we were to let Amorim go, even if we won the Europa League, I would say fair based on the season, but I don't think we should let him go. At the same time, I wouldn't say let him go because we lose the game. We won't lose the game. But either way, all right, pre-season is very different because just even having that time to bond as a team and get to know your players on a personal level, you don't get that during the season because it's so intense. It's so, like, fast-paced. There's so much pressure. Pre-season's a very different environment. Then there's physical conditioning. You can't physically condition players in the middle of the season when they're playing games every 3 days. It doesn't work. You cannot get players up to the physical level. Then there's time for tactical training, which, you know, so many coaches have said that it's not time. I remember Pep Guardiola at the start of the season, his first international break, he said this first part of the season has been like an extended pre-season. for them. And that, that's the reality of football now, is that it's so intense. You don't get the opportunity to do this stuff during the season. So the pre-season is really important.
Eric Ten Hag got his pre-season, didn't he?
He got he's in his first season and we did really well.
Yeah, you could see the impact that pre-season had.
And also, I think as well, you said that Amorim hasn't had the time to get to know the players yet. It's the same way around. Like, the players haven't also had time to get to know him yet. Because Amorim spent all this time, right?
He had his first good season.
But it's because it's simply not. But in the summer, in pre-season, they're going to go away to Norway, to the US, and it's going to happen. And the point I started with, and I wanted to make, is that I think it's now going to be the summer where he's going to be able to start creating his squad, half of which will be the players we currently have anyway. Yeah. But they'll become his players because they'll know him and he'll know them. Now, I know we could talk about this for hours. The last thing I want to talk about is to do with the final. Yeah, but
we don't care about that.
I think we established our force.
My idea is I would like to see some of the key players play some minutes. The rest of you said keep them in cotton wool. But I think that's
for rhythm purposes. I think play some minutes.
That's it. Yeah, but I want to finish in the last 5-10 minutes we have, by talking about you guys building quickly your Europa League final starting 11s. Think about if the game was tomorrow, right? Who are you picking? I'll happily start off what you guys think. So my starting 11, what I want to see: Andre Onana in goal, obviously. Like, you kind of well, it's the lesser of two. Look at how Bayindir's performing. He's a lesser of two evils, bro.
I don't know.
All right, I'm going to work on the assumption that De Ligt and Euro are not fit to start, because I don't know. So let's say I want Luke Shaw left back, so left centre back, Maguire in the middle, Mazraoui right centre back, Dorgu left wing back, and although I've seen better in number 10, I want Ahmad at right wing back for this game. You've then got, I want Casemiro and Bruno in the middle. I know he's played Casemiro and Ugarte there for extra security, but I think for the sake of this game, Bruno and Casemiro is better in the middle. Højlund up top. Maybe Mount on the left and Garnacho on the right.
Don't think he's going to start Mount.
I'm trying to think, who else would he start?
I think what's going to happen is take out Mount, put Bruno. This is what I think is going to happen, but not what I agree with. That's going to be similar to what he's done most of the time. You're going to have Bruno there, Ugarte, and Bruno.
And Casemiro. Ugarte and Casemiro in the middle.
And Casemiro, and Garnacho will start, which I don't want, but that's what will happen.
Mm-hmm. I would like to see Garnacho on the right.
He's a picture of habit, isn't he?
Huh?
I think he's a picture of habit in that sense, in terms of obviously, the guys that's not, obviously he would want a delay, he would want a Euro if they're fit. I think the changes we see is going to be those players that were injured, whether they're fit enough to either start or come on off the bench. I definitely feel like we're not going to go with all of our superstars starting. Like, there's talks about Mainu. That's probably is he going to get a start?
I don't think Mainu will start. And I don't think he should start. I don't think his performances have warranted him starting.
Yeah,
he's amazing. One of my favourite players. But I think right now, you start the players who are playing well.
He's not confident. We can see that he doesn't look at him like he looks at
I have no worries about Mainu long term. I don't think he should start this game.
I don't think he should either.
I think the pattern works is we go with Casemiro and we go with Ugarte. We're not that great in the midfield. You know what I mean? Progressing the ball and all of that stuff, I get it. But when we make our substitutions, things take a turn. Look, Tottenham's going to be able to be making...
the good players from the start instead of,
That's risky as well.
In my opinion, it's more risky to start Ugarte, be rubbish for an hour, and then you take him off and suddenly you become good.
There's
and you bank on winning the game in the last half an hour.
So who's starting instead of him?
Bruno and Casemiro together?
Yeah. Give me your starting 11.
Oh, cool. So, obviously, Onana in goal. I don't think that's going to happen. If Euro is fit, I'm going with Mazraoui, Maguire, and Euro on the left. I wouldn't start De Ligt, in an isolated game. You'd probably want to, but given the he's been injured and stuff, it's a bit of a risk to start him. Usually I would start him with Maguire, but also Maguire has done well, so I think it'd be harsh to
Maguire's a surefire start for the final.
He should start. So
he makes it.
I think Maguire should start.
He's our best centre back right now.
If Euro's fit, if Euro's not fit, it's Shaw on the left of the three. But if Euro's fit, then him. Ahmad at right wing back. If Euro is fit, I'm going Shaw at left wing back. Casemiro and Fernandes. as my two central midfielders, then I think the same front three as you, Mount, Garnacho and Højlund. I wouldn't mind seeing Mainoo start over Garnacho, but I think it would be valuable to have Garnacho as a runner on the pitch. And I think again on the right.
Spurs are such a reckless team. I want to see Garnacho against them. Spurs are
that high line as well.
But wouldn't someone like Ahmad and Mainoo be more effective against them? You're saying
but if you've got Ahmad and Garnacho on the right hand side, I like Garnacho on the right because it forces him to cross. On the left, he only ever shoots, and I get why he's a shoot first kind of player. But when he's on the right, and obviously he really, really prefers his right foot. Garnacho does. It forces him to play those the cutbacks and the low crosses, and I think they're so valuable. Those crosses, and I think if you would have Mount on the left and Garnacho on the right,
Mount can peel around.
Because I know it's happened in the opposite side with Brentford, where Garnacho crossed the ball for Mount to go to in the boxes on the other side. But I think it's something that really could work. If Bruno plays deeper and then you play Mount up top, it means you've still got Bruno on the pitch to create and pass and do all that kind of stuff, and then hover around the edge of the area.
You can always rotate as well.
Yeah, and they can always swap around. But I would like to see Mount start, but I get it if he doesn't. That's the real toss-up for me, is that last position.
Yeah, I think most of the team picks itself, to be honest. I'm going with Shaw over Dorgu at left wing back if Yora's fit, because I think, look, it's a one-off game, like, it matters. Shaw, whilst I think
Shaw can break his leg in the 80th minute.
I actually don't mind it.
Across the season,
I don't mind that either.
Across the season, sure, you don't want him playing at wing back for the intensity running up and down, but for a one game, you need your best team, and I think he is the best player in that position. I think, remember the Euro final as well, that first half he completely locked up Lamine Yamal playing at left wing back. Then,
Shaw was fantastic in that final.
Then in that second half, he moved Yamal inside the pitch to get him away from Shaw. But the first half, Yamal was like chained. Shaw had him completely.
I don't mind it at all.
I just don't see us bringing on. If we need to get back into the game, if we need to shore up again, Shaw's the one to do it.
Yeah, and I think also,
do you know what I mean?
Shaw.
I didn't even plan for that.
did.
Sure. I didn't plan for that, but I just look. Totti, I've got more game changers that they can bring off the bench than we can. So us.
Thing is, right now, do they?
I think they do.
With all their injuries, not right now.
They've got
who's injured?
Madison's injured. Kulusevski's injured. Bergval's injured.
I've got the list of confirmed injuries.
Pace, but outside of that,
so the players that are 100% sure to miss the tie are. Damn it! Someone just sent it to me. Scarlett, Dragusin, Madison, Bergval, Kulusevski, Xerxes and Martinez across the two teams. That's 7 players. 5 from Spurs, 2 from us. Like confirmed 100% missing the tie.
And who typically comes off bench for Tottenham? How does their patterns go in terms of substitution?
So players they still have in attack, they've got Son, Brennan Johnson.
Brennan will come off the bench.
Timo Werner,
right? I think
they still have Werner.
What's their striker?
Yeah, I think so. I think Brennan Johnson will start.
He's gonna.
I think he'll start until he comes off the bench.
I think all their good attacking players are starting.
Yeah, but I think you're all having.
If Euro plays.
If you go, even if Shaw's at left centre back, if you go 1v1, Brennan Johnson's not beating him.
Shaw just stand there.
I don't know about Brennan, man.
Yeah, but it's Son as well.
Look, I really didn't think about that. I don't mind the shit. So it was a super chat from Joe Fleming Mulford that says Dorgu is an engine. I'd start over Shaw for me. But honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing either a left wing back.
I think he's got a job to do, Dorgu, and then come off, and then you bring on Shaw with the tight legs to do his thing. I think like there might need to be a shift in the dynamic of the game.
I want strength from the start, so like
just like Bilbao.
I want strength from the start. Dorgu's got the engine, but I think like Shaw's not gonna just not run at all for the entire game. But I think
but I don't think he can run for the entire game.
You look at the value that Shaw brings in possession. For me, it's just so much far ahead of Dorgu, who I think is promising, but still quite raw. So I would go with Shaw.
I agree.
It's a valid point. Credit to this guy.
Joe
but
Fleming.
I still think I'll still go for Shaw. Then in terms of subs, Mainoo come off the bench. You can bring him on deeper and move Fernandes higher, or you can bring Mainoo on higher for Mason Mount maybe, or Alejandro Garnacho. You bring Dorgu off the bench at some point. You could even bring Garnacho off for Dorgu and put Ahmad in the 10 with Dorgu at right wing back.
That's what I was thinking. Luke Shaw over here.
See, you can if De Ligt's fit, you can bring De Ligt off the bench towards the end to kind of see out the game a little bit. Yeah, we've got.
So basically, it's up to Amram to lose this. He's got bare options.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's got bare options.
Final things, I want you to give me 2 predictions quickly. Chelsea prediction, score prediction, if you care, and also score prediction for the final.
Don't make me do the final.
I'll go first.
Which one do you start
Yeah,
with?
all right.
I never,
Yusuf,
I
you go
never
first.
predict us to lose. I'm just going to say we beat Chelsea 2-1 and we beat Spurs 3-1.
Nice. Joe, what are you saying?
Chelsea, I don't really care about. I actually think we're going to lose. Yeah.
It's
We'll
more
lose.
likely we lose, but
We're going to play the kids. I hope we play all the kids. Yeah. If we lose whatever score, I don't care. But going into the final, we're turning up. Everyone's going to be scared, and then all of a sudden, pow, 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 3-0. What? Man United, Tottenham. That's my prediction. 3-0, Man United. Slap, slap, slap.
Am I going next so you can delay the inevitable?
Go on.
All right, okay. Chelsea game. It's gonna be like a 2-0 loss or something. Like maybe 2-1. Like because I still think Amram's gonna play more stronger players than we think. Like he's not just gonna field a team of he's not gonna field like the team he played against Brentford, which was like our youngest team ever or something. So 2-1, I'd say. And then I agree with the 3-1 Spurs prediction, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went into extra time. I don't see it going to penalties because the two teams are too reckless. They don't play. I feel like Spurs don't play safe enough to get all the way to pens.
We have not been reckless in this Europa.
No, but as in if the game's in extra time, I don't see us sitting there for 30 minutes waiting for pens. I see us trying to get the winner.
Oh yeah.
So I don't. But I'd say 3-1.
3-0.
Firms, you're gonna have to give me something so we can finish this podcast.
Bro, I'm still churning, thinking
I'm
what
hungry.
It's gonna be Chelsea, right? I reckon we lose probably 2-1. I'm saying 1 as a good thing. It could be 2-0. And then with this final against, man.
Say it with chest, bro.
I think it's definitely not going to be resolved in 90 minutes. I think it's going to be one of those nervy games.
What you saying like a 1-0?
Bro, yeah, it's going to go.
Or a tight 2-1.
I think it's going into extra time. I think it's potentially could hit penalties.
Give me a winner.
Just say it, man.
3-0!
I got to go with Man United.
Okay, yeah. Do you think Man United are going to win? Like, it's just who you think.
United is lifting that trophy.
Good
Yes!
man. United
Come on.
lifting that
I
trophy.
don't like that. That wasn't chest. That wasn't chest.
That is the least disappointing.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't want to do another sing along. That's sad, bro.
No, but listen.
I need to do another.
If you're not confident
Get
that
me.
Man United are not going to win, then say it, bro.
I might even just do it in air feature. Featuring you, man.
I don't believe him. He's just copying the class. You know when someone's looking
Yeah,
over
yeah.
your...
You know what it is? I hate
trying to do the
I don't
humble
want to
game.
jinx it. I do not want to jinx it. Look, guys, if you're watching, I
Then
don't
just
want to
touch with us. What I do
Stop for
every
one.
single
What do you think?
podcast.
You think we're going to lose then? You think
No,
we're
we
gonna
have
lose?
to. You know what it is?
I'm going to question him off camera. I've got
You know
my
what my rationale is? The heritage thing. Look,
I believe in these
Man
players.
United heritage, Inter Milan, I know they're against the grain. I know everyone's saying PSG heritage there as well. And then obviously Chelsea. Anthony's going to try and do his thing, but Chelsea with the heritage there. That's my rationale. It might not go that way, and hopefully it doesn't go that, it goes that way for Man U. And not, I don't care about the others. But I'm going with heritage. Chelsea's obviously done their thing in European football. Man United's obviously, it goes without saying. And then you get me, you've got, who's the other one I mentioned? Chelsea. Who's the other one? Chelsea, Man United, and Inter Milan has done their thing under Mourinho and all of that. So they've got the experience, they've been there. And
Give me a
that's
score
my
prediction. Or do you flat out not want one?
man.
Yes, can we please get to what you actually
Yeah, well,
really
I wanna-
think?
I wanna
Can
eat
you tell me
something
what you
now, can't I?
really think, please?
Bro, I
It's
think
just a guess.
I think it's
It
gonna
doesn't
be
mean anything.
a-
It's just a guess.
It's not even going to be a 1-0 game. It's going to
What?
be, if it goes
Just end the stream.
2-1.
2-1
in
United.
extra time.
2-1
Man
in extra
United
time.
get that last minute goal before penalties.
Harry Maguire!
Harry Maguire on the
Harry
wing.
Maguire.
Right, okay. Thank you so much, all three of you, for joining me today in the studio. I really hope you guys watching at home enjoyed. I can see you're getting your score predictions in. Pretty much everyone is saying that United's going to win. Brendo says, boys, it's Spurs.
Good on the boy. Good on you, Brendo.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not watching live and you're watching this on the record, let us know in the comments what do you think about what we said. The transfers, Chelsea game, Spurs game, score
Tell them
prediction.
to hit the like
all
button
of
right
that.
now, please.
Yeah, and
How many
also,
we got? Hit the like button.
We're going to wait 30 seconds before the end of the stream. Hit that like button. We're on 76 right
the
now.
target?
Get
So we're
that
gonna-
one
let's
up.
get to
100 at
Let's get-
least.
yeah.
Quick
100
100.
live
Good.
likes. Come on
We're
now.
going to be here for 30 more seconds. Hit that like button. Just sit and wait.
Come on.
Let me.
Come on.
Can you hit the like button?
Go on, yeah.
well, hit the like
Yusuf,
button.
hit that like button.
hit
Joe,
the
get
like
your
button
phone
right
out. Hit that like
I
button.
hit the like button already.
Good man.
Hit the like button, please. Can we stop ramping?
Jeez.
You know, I had to travel here.
Come on.
I was on Black Man time.
Yeah.
He was late.
I got there first.
He was late.
Imagine I was like
I
here
opened
and
the
he
door
was
for
here.
him. I opened the
I
door
was
for
here
him.
and he was there.
Anyway.
And he was racing me up the stairs. And he copied my dress code.
I'm wearing the back so far.
Look at this. Like, look at this.
Come on, guys, hit like.
Slap the light, please.
Slap the light.
Slap the light, slap the light, slap the light.
Look,
How we doing?
Ray, we're coming back here with good news, man.
You. I want to get your real opinion after the show because I don't believe you think we're going to win. Yeah, you're a liar.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm nervous, man. You man are talking with chest.
Right, but yeah, we'll wrap up now. Thank you so much, you guys, coming on. And next time we're recording this, it'll be Thursday at 12:30. We'll know the final score of the Europa League final. Hopefully, I'll be sat here, sunglasses on, chilling in the Champions League.
And we can have
We need to arrange
Trophy
bottles, you know.
winners.
We need to arrange a party if this happens. You know?
need to get some
We need to have something
We'll see,
special
we'll
here.
see, we'll see.
I'm gonna get the poppers and everything.
Yeah,
Can we
good
get
man.
the trophy?
No alcohol.
Yeah. No alcohol
No
for you,
alcohol,
Sifra,
of
yeah.
course.
What's
But
that? Schlur.
what?
Schlur.
Slurs come.
Yeah, non-alcoholic.
We
Or just some orange juice, it's fine, it's fine.
Orange juice.
Yeah, but either way, yeah. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Thank you guys for coming on, and we'll see you at 12:30 next Thursday for Europa League final reaction. Peace.